So if I look a little rough right now, just ignore that because I just woke up from like a 3-hour nap. Anyways, I want to do the intro for this video because I've already started reading one of the books for this video. Basically in today's video, I'm going to be reading My Physical TBR. I'm just going to be mood reading this week and just going to take you along with me. It is a spoiler-free reading vlog, basically just me trying to get through My Physical TBR because there's a lot of books that I have that I haven't read yet. Anyways, the first book that I've been reading is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I am about 30% into it. My thoughts on this is that I'm absolutely loving it. I didn't really know much about what it was about going into it, and I love going into a book that way. It makes it so much better. Basically, it follows Peyton and Kai, and there's ordinaries who have no powers, and there's elites who have powers. And Kai is a prince, the king's son, and he is like an enforcer. Basically, he kills all the ordinaries because apparently they spread like a disease in the kingdom, and so the king orders them killed. But Peyton is an undercover ordinary. But basically, they meet, and their first interaction was everything to me. I annotated so much already. I don't know if you can see, but look, I annotated a lot and I'm only 194 pages into it. That's kind of a lot for me. There's like a Hunger Games-esque story. It's kind of reminded me of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, except it's not vampires. It's just like people with powers. It's basically like a little Hunger Games thing. Yeah, that's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil anything, but that's the gist of the book. So far I'm loving it and I'm eating it up. The banter, and it's dual point of view too, so you get to see when they first meet, you can see it in both of their point of views, and I just loved it so much. Like, I annotated that and it was just like so similar the way that they perceived each other, and I just loved it. But anyways, I'm just gonna keep reading this and I will come back with any updates or when I finish the book. Ignore how I look right now. It's literally midnight and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna read like a chapter or two before I go to bed, and I have read multiple chapters. I'm about halfway done now, which really I haven't read that many chapters, but like I was wearing my headphones so I couldn't hear how loud I was being, but I was literally like screaming, like I wasn't screaming, but I was like who did this to you? Oh my gosh. I didn't know that this book had the who did this to you trope in it. Like, I literally put 2 tabs on one page because I needed to annotate these 2 different things. Like, I'm eating it up. If I didn't have school tomorrow, I would literally stay up all night to finish this because I literally have goosebumps right now. Alright, I'm gonna keep reading and then probably going to bed soon. It's 12:20 and I have to wake up for school tomorrow at like 6. So, wish me luck. But so far, I'm eating this book up. So it's the next day and I feel like my videos are so repetitive, like I'm in the same spot, but I'm just like always in my bed. So ignore that. I read a lot of Powerless at school today and I want to give you guys another update because I don't think you guys understand how much I'm loving this book. I could not contain my smile when I was at school. I was reading some of these things. Look at how much I've annotated now. Like, what? I haven't annotated this much since Akatar. I'm gonna be so for real right now. But I was reading some of the stuff and I was like blushing in class. Like I was like trying not to smile. I was literally like this. When I was reading some of the lines, like, girl, get a grip. This book is literally so good. Oh my gosh. Like, some of the lines in here are literally insane. There's this one line, and I don't want to spoil it, but it talks about, like, his favorite color. And if you've read this, you know. If you know, you know. I wanted to cry. It was just so everything to me. And I'm loving the storyline. I haven't even gotten to, like, the climax of the story yet. But, like, it's so good. I feel like this could possibly be a 6-star read. It's at least going to be a 5-star read. Unless something goes crazy at the end. There's one thing that I'm not too crazy of right now, but I'm very interested to keep reading and see the other trials because I just got past the first little trial Hunger Games-esque thing, and it's honestly really giving Hunger Games, like with a weapon that I'm not going to spoil, but like it's giving Hunger Games. Anyways, I'm interested to see the rest of the plot of this book, and I just wanted to film me reading because I just wanted to show you how real I'm talking about my reactions. Like, I guarantee you within the next like minute or two I'm gonna have like a screaming, giggling type of reaction. So let's just keep reading. A moment of silence right now for this book. Ignore how bad I look right now. I just finished Powerless like 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, I don't know. I was trying to compose myself because I was crying from what happened at the end of the book, and then also crying because it's over and I have to wait until July. Why did I think it was coming out in April? I don't know. I haven't been like following along with the next book because I hadn't even read Powerless yet, but I thought it was coming out in April. No, it's coming out July 2nd. You're telling me I have to wait till July 2nd to read the next book of this? That just hasn't fully sunk in yet because I'm in shock of this book. Look at how much I annotated it. I have not annotated this much in a book since ACOTAR. I'm not saying this has any like similarities to ACOTAR, like maybe a few things, but like my obsession with it relates to my obsession with ACOTAR. That's the best way to relate it. This book has every single trope imaginable in it. The best of the best tropes, in my personal opinion, is in this book, and it is actually insane, and the banter is literally so good. Oh my gosh. I got Spotify Premium the other day and I was listening to the audiobook while I was like cleaning my room or getting ready. I would mid-stop, like folding my clothes, I would stop and just like scream, or I would like laugh out loud, like out of excitement, because like the stuff that they were saying to each other, I'm actually out of breath because of how like worked up I am about this book. It was just so good. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. It's between a 5 stars and a 6 stars. I'm not sure. At least a 5 stars though. I will say it started to be repetitive towards the end about this one thing, but I can't say it because of the spoilers, obviously. But I enjoyed this book so much. It was a book that I flew through. There's like 500 pages in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like Dance of Thieves, for example. It took me a while to get through, and I was like ready to finish it. Even though it was a good story, I was just ready to be done with it. Not this book. This book is a pretty decent size. It's 500 pages, so like it's pretty big. I flew through it and I ate it up. I did not want this book to end, but I also wanted to keep reading it because of how good it was. That was the type of book this was. Anyways though, I feel like I've talked enough about this book. I probably won't shut up about it, but can I just say how good of a reading month this month has been? January is like popping off with the reads right now. But yeah, since I'm just mood reading for this video, I'm just gonna pick whatever book I want to read in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed right now though because it is 1:40 a.m. and I want to get a good chunk of reading done tomorrow, so I don't want to sleep all day. So I'm gonna go to bed and I will see you when I wake up to pick the next read for this video. So it's the next day and I've officially picked out the next book I'm gonna read. This morning I got a shower, I did my makeup and all that stuff. I was listening to the audiobook to it, of course, because I am now obsessed with audiobooks. I'm going to be reading The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've heard nothing but good things about this. I've heard it's such a good romance book. I'm only that much into it. I'm on chapter 3, but all I know is that she moves into her aunt's old apartment, and she was like really close with her aunt, and her aunt was like, oh, this apartment is magical and whatever, and then it actually turns out to be magical. I think it like flips back 7 years, and there's a guy that lived there. That's like my guess. Yeah, he exists in the past, 7 years in the past, and she lives 7 years in his future. So that seems interesting enough. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I've only been a few chapters into it, so I'm not like, I don't really have a opinion on it yet. But my plan today is I think I want to do my nails because I have no nails, as you can see, and I do my own nails at home. So I think I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I do my nails, and I'll come back afterwards if I have any updates. Even though this whole video is me getting through my physical TBR, I choose to listen to the audiobook, but that's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna do my nails. My nails. They honestly look really bad, but that's besides the point. I was listening to the audiobook and then I sat down in my bed and I read the book for a while. I am actually over halfway now. Just a little bit. I'm on chapter 24. Going into this book, I didn't think that I was going to be as like into it as I am right now. I am having reactions to this book, like giggling out loud, hand over my mouth, those type of reactions, because this is actually such a good book. I've also cried, but like I'm just an emotional person. I cry at almost every single book that I read, but specifically this trope, because obviously, like I said, it goes 7 years in the past, so they've missed 7 years of their life together, and it kind of reminds me of like second chance romances. I don't know why, but I just don't like those that much because it makes me so sad that they've missed so much time together in their life, and that's what this book is doing to me. So I've cried, or I haven't like cried, but I've like teared up a few times, but I'm getting to like an interesting part of the story and I'm very much into it. I'm gonna keep reading it, but I just want to give my updates and say that I am loving this book. It's basically, like I said, she lives in her aunt's old apartment, and then one day it goes back 7 years to this guy that was staying in her aunt's apartment for the summer, and how that coincides to her present, aka his future, and it's just like, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a few days, but I did finish The 7-Year Slip. I did not just finish this, I finished it probably on like Tuesday, and today's Saturday, so however many days that was. This book was so good. This is everything I needed in a cute little romance book with a little bit of like magic, obviously, because The 7-Year Slip. I loved everything about this book. The whole timeline, like past them, present them, like that whole thing, I was so into it. Like it was so interesting to me and I loved it. I also listened to the audiobook on this a lot and I loved the audiobook too. That's my new obsession, is audiobooks, because they're just so good. Like sometimes I'm just really not in the mood to read. Like I'm gonna be honest, I just don't want to read, but I still want the story. And that's perfect for audiobooks because you just put it on and you just listen. And I can just lay there and relax, or I can be cleaning my room or something and I'm still getting the book. It's so good. But anyways, I think I'm gonna give this book a 4.5. It was so good. It's not a 5-star read, but it was so good. I got the happy feelings, the giggly, giddy feelings. And I wasn't just interested in the romance, I was also interested in the apartment, the aunt and hers relationship, and then the aunt's relationship with the person that she had the 7-year slip apartment thing with. Like all of it was just like interesting and I was loving all of it. Even like the friends, like I loved all of it. I loved her writing so much. So yeah, I definitely recommend this if you haven't read it. Everyone loves this that reads it. It's such a good, comforting romance read with a little bit of magic. Now, like I said, it has been a few days. I obviously finished that book, so I picked up another one. That would be The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, and I am so excited that I'm finally gonna finish this because I've been reading this for forever. I actually haven't been reading this, but I started it a while ago, like 2 chapters, and then I just didn't pick it up. So I'm glad that I can finally read this. I got this much in. I'm almost halfway into it. Basically, this is a book composed of the different novellas of the Throne of Glass series. There is 5. I'm currently on the 3rd novella in here, which is The Assassin in the Desert. I'm liking this so far. I've read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, and I'm reading this as the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series. I have the next 2 books already on my bookshelf, so I am definitely ready to read this and get through this book, to read Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows, because I read Crown of Midnight, and the reading order that I'm doing is this for the 3rd book, obviously. And I don't know if I would recommend that, honestly, because something happens that they talk about in Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight that is in here. So like I already know something that's gonna happen in here, which I'm not excited for. I'm so not ready to read that. But this also gives you like a introduction to everything, and I feel like because of the end of Crown of Midnight, I'm ready to get into that story, and this is before Throne of Glass timeline. So I'm like reading everything that's happened before what I've already read, and I don't really like that reading order because mentally I have been putting off this book just because I don't want to backtrack, you know? But anyways, I am liking this. It's basically different stories of Selena and her being an assassin, and I think it's like 2 years or 1 year before Throne of Glass, but I can't really say much about it. It's basically just her and being with Arobin, I think is how it's pronounced, Arobin's assassins. She's like his number 1, and it's basically like she's on a journey for him, like being his number 1 assassin. He's sending her on these things, something happens, and then it's just like her storyline of being in different places. There's 5 different novellas, and it's basically like 5 different places that she goes on her, like, I wouldn't say adventure, I don't really know the word for it. I don't know how I will ever recover from this, but I already knew what was gonna happen, so I didn't think that it was gonna hurt this bad, but it did. It hurt pretty bad. So I finished The Assassin's Blade. My throat literally hurts from like crying. I don't know what to rate this. I don't know, it was good, but like it's so sad and I hate that happened, but like I knew it had to happen for the story. There's no way that I can form sentences right now without trying to bust out crying again. So I'm gonna go to bed and I will see you in the morning or sometime tomorrow when I've collected myself, because I am not okay right now and I'm probably gonna cry myself to sleep. I'm literally gonna cry myself to sleep. Good night from me. So good morning, it's the next day and I have slept on my review. It's still complicated to rate The Assassin's Blade just because I did just read it yesterday. Like I didn't have a full few days to think on it. I only had sleep. I'm the type of person that really enjoys the fantasy part of fantasy books, you know, like the assassin part that she had to go through throughout that book. And I do really love the Throne of Glass characters. I haven't even met all the Throne of Glass characters. Like I'm at the brink of meeting everyone else. So I think I'm gonna give that book a 4.5. I think a 4.5 does it pretty good. I mean, I really enjoyed it, the different novellas. Sorry if my voice sounds like really bad because I literally just woke up. Also, I don't know if you can tell, I did my makeup, so you probably can't, but like my eyes are so swollen from crying. I woke up and like I could hardly open my eyes because when I turned off the camera last night, I did cry some more. Anyways, The Assassin's Blade, absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to continue Thermal Glass series. Now to redo the ratings on the other books that I read for this video because I think I was sitting on a lot of the ratings. So first book I read was Powerless. This book is definitely a 5-star read. It's not 6-star read for me, but definitely 5 stars. Like, I enjoyed this book so much. The banter, the different tropes in here, the plot, like literally everything about this book I absolutely loved. This would be a book that I would probably reread just because of like how good it was. Also, the novella that's coming out for this, Lauren Roberts announced that like while I was filming this video, and I'm so ready. And then next I read The 7-Year Slip. This I'm gonna do a 4.5 with. I feel like it's not right to have this as the same rating as The Assassin's Blade. I don't know why. Just because they're like two totally different genres, it just feels weird. But this is a solid 4.5 because this is such a good happy feeling romance. If you haven't read this book and you want a good happy romance, definitely read this. It also has like magic in it, like it's so good. But yeah, that's it for this video. My week of mood reading, or week and a half. So sorry I didn't upload last week. I was reading these books and I didn't finish them. I was honestly procrastinating reading The Assassin's Blade. Well, not like reading it, but finishing it, just because I knew how upset I was gonna be. As you can see, you can understand why I did that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my reactions, and I hope you guys will pick up some of these books if you haven't already, because these were some very good books that I chose. Go follow my Goodreads and all my other socials linked in the description. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave down in the comments future video ideas that you guys want to see. I'm definitely open to suggestions. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!